Hello, hello, hello. I am here for another Lunchtime Live. I already set up the platform over here. I have you here. I'm just going to wait for few people to come on in. It is a little early. You know, I like to be early. This week is actually our final Lunchtime Live for 2021. But I'll be back again. Well, hello there, my friend. Is that Katrinda? How are you? I think that's you. All right. I like to wait a few minutes just because give people time to get in. Well, let me get started. It is 1 o'clock exactly. Welcome to this, my third final Lunchtime Live for 2021. I am Regina L. Henry, your principal life architect. Now, you may be wondering, what is that? What I do is I empower and equip you to design the life that you want that is in congruence, in alignment with your genius. Yes, I said genius. I believe there is genius in every single one of us. The problem is sometimes we have genius framed in our minds a little differently than the way I define it. And so a couple of weeks ago, when I started doing this, I gave you what I call my definition of genius. And it includes the four components that I have here on my whiteboard. I told you I keep that model before me, the genius identity model, so that I'm able to also stay in tune with my own genius. This is not just that I do this for you, but I also do this for myself, right? So, what I did was I shared with you the components of genius. We talked about that week also the power of your words and how critical it is to pay attention to the internal dialogue that is going on all the time. We put on a good face for those outside of ourselves. We say all the right things, but are we saying all the right things to ourselves, within ourselves? We talked about that a little. And then I shared with you a strategy and an approach that the Japanese use called Katsuki. And what it is they use when a pottery piece or any type of vessel gets broken, they don't just throw it away. They take it and carefully reassemble that piece of pottery or vessel, and they use a gold or sometimes platinum or silver film, thin film, and you can see all of the cracks and all the imperfections of that vessel. And what that actual art approach does, having that as a perspective to use for our own lives, is that you see our own broken areas, the things that we're not so great at, the imperfections, the things we want to improve in, as part of our whole story, part of our whole selves. That's an approach that I was encouraging you to use. Now, the second week we were together, I talked a little bit about how genius evolves. It is not static. We don't we're not born with a certain set of genius components and it stays that way. Life experiences, the things we learn, those things are constantly shaping us and developing us in different ways, and we evolve. So I encourage you to take a childlike approach to observing and cultivating your genius. Stay curious, stay open, and stay teachable. Finally, the last thing I shared last week is about how to cultivate an awareness, that awareness of where you are in your genius. And the most undervalued and underused strategy is questions, the use of questions. I use questions to ask myself, why am I feeling that way? Why am I looking at it this way? What other ways can I see this? Those types of internal things that we do with ourselves helps us to get to a place where we can grow in our awareness of ourselves and of those around us, improving our relationships. This week, I want to share with you a strategy that I use. It is a tactic because we are constantly having things come at us. Like right now, my dog is barking and I have no idea why. And so there's stressors that are always approaching us on a daily basis. And sometimes, if you're going through a particularly difficult season, it seems like moment by moment. And one of the things I like to do is reframe what I'm going through, what I'm faced with, what stress is coming my way. I reframe it by using a strategy I call reset. I put it up here so you could see it. Reset. And that set, SET, is an acronym for silence, encouragement, and timeout. Many times we are going all the time. We don't take a moment to just be still. Stillness has a way of bringing us into a place where we actually can hear our internal, could be an eternal, but our internal voice, and really sort of bring a calm to the moment, whatever we're faced with. It doesn't take long. I advise maybe 2 to 3 minutes. Wherever you are, take a moment, stop what you're doing, and breathe deeply. Count of 5, inward, hold it momentarily, and then release. In and out the nose. What that has been proven to do is actually bring longevity to our lives, because it actually the oxygen goes into the cells of our body and shifts us physically, but it also shifts us psychologically and emotionally. It brings a calm to us. Just a pause on that right now. I have to say, every week when I do this lunchtime live, it seems like the time that all the noises begin. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So silence is the first step. The second step is encouragement. Sometimes we thrive on the encouragement, or we seek to have that encouragement come from those outside of us. But I find that many times I benefit, and we all could benefit from encouraging ourselves, saying, you know what, you got this. You know what you're doing. You've prepared. You are well equipped. You should go with your gut. Your gut never lies. Those are the types of things that I say to myself when I'm faced with challenges and I'm trying to push through. First, I start with silence, then I encourage myself. Thirdly, I take a time out. I might get up from my desk and do a few stretches. If I have the time, I will go out for a quick 10-minute walk to get my body moving. There is a connection between what we're experiencing physically and our minds and our spirits even. And that shift of movement helps to bring it together and put you into right alignment so that your genius can shine. I got two more things to share with you today. It's a little longer, and I hope that you would stick around with me. But the next thing I want to share is, please be intentional about your personal development. Many times we have body goals. Oh, I got to lose 10 pounds. Or we might have financial goals. By the end of the year, I want to have X amount of investments, savings at this point. However, we don't always have personal development goals. Goals that can affect our relationships, the way we see ourselves, little things that we could do and put into practice in our lives that would improve how we see ourselves and the world around us, and how we show up in our genius. So as you're thinking about goals and preparing your goals for 2022, because who's already planning? I'm right there with you, planning for 2022. Make sure that your goals have some personal development goals in there as well. And speaking of goals, consider aligning your goals with your vision. And this is like the crux of what I want to talk to you about today, vision. Vision is so important, vital for the development and evolution of your genius. What is your vision for your life? What do you see yourself being, doing? How will you live in 5, 10, 20 years? Have you thought about it? Not just in terms of your location, but in terms of who you are. Well, if that feels too big, too heavy, too much to consider, how about for 2022? What is your vision for 2022? Do you have goals yet? Because what I find is that when you have a clear vision, it helps you to stay disciplined. I always say this: vision drives discipline. So if you're having trouble, struggling, wondering what your goals should be for 2022, given the past couple of years we had, I can understand why you would be a bit apprehensive in setting too many big, lofty goals. But I encourage you, start thinking about it. And if you need some help, I'm having a vision board workshop. I do this every year. Usually I do it in January. But this year I decided, how about we do it before the new year begins so that when the new year comes, we can hit the ground running. Now, usually it takes a couple of hours to spend together, but I'm going to try to have a power hour with you. I'm planning to have it December 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And your time with me, you will be able to cultivate and develop your vision and be able to be ready for 2022, having your big, hairy, audacious goals in mind and a plan of action to how you execute them. The workshop is free, so you can register at my website, reginalhenry.com. Please come, because what you envision truly, truly will be what you actually experience in this year and the years to come. And I want to see you living your genius in 2022. So that's it. I took a little bit more time today than I have, I think, in the past couple of weeks. But I'm glad you stuck in there with me. If you are here on replay, put hashtag replay in the comments. And please remember, your genius is waiting to be unearthed, to be cultivated, and to be lived out, because only you can contribute that thing that is in you, uniquely in you, for the world. I am Regina L. Henry, your principal life architect, and I look forward to seeing many of you, if not all of you, at my vision board workshop on December 4th. Take care.